Now we will start with vitamin K. The name of vitamin K comes from the German word coagulation vitamin. That is, it plays a role or some effect in the coagulation. Several forms of vitamin K are used around the world as medicine. There are three forms of vitamin K: K1 phyloquinone, K2 menaquinone, and vitamin 2, K2 is considered as a good form of vitamin K. Here you can see that the vitamin K1, it is present in the green leafy vegetable. K2, intestinal mucosa, it is synthesized by the intestinal bacteria, and also it is present in natto and curds. Curds क्या होता है? दही होता है. Natto क्या है? It is a Japanese food made from soya bean. Sources: green leafy vegetables, and vitamin K2 is a group of compound which is largely found from the animal sources: meat, cheese, eggs, and also it is synthesized by the bacteria. ये देखो इतनी मज़ेदार सी वेजिटेबल्स हैं, फ्रूट्स हैं, which contains the vitamin K. This is the recommended value of the vitamin K. Infants में कितना होना चाहिए, children में कितना होना चाहिए, men 19 plus, women 19 plus, pregnancy, lactation, and upper limit has not been established. Synthesis: there are several forms of vitamin K synthesized by plants, because plants are the sources, animals are the sources found in meat, fish, egg, poultry, all these things. Then the bacteria, E. coli, found in the large intestine can synthesize vitamin K2 but not vitamin K1. Diseases that disturb the intestinal balance of bacteria block the proper synthesis and absorption of vitamin K. लाजमी बात है, जब आपकी इंटेस्टाइन सही काम नहीं करेगी, गट सही काम नहीं करेगा, so the proper synthesis and the absorption of vitamin K will not takes place. People suffering from intestinal disorders are recommended to take vitamin K supplements to prevent the deficiency. Transport: vitamin K is absorbed in the small intestine and it is incorporated into chylomicron. Why chylomicron? Because it is a fat soluble vitamin, and chylomicron, they contain fats. Large amount of fat is present. It then enters the lymphatic system and transported throughout the body. Fate of vitamin K. होता क्या है यार, एब्जॉर्ब होने के बाद इसका क्या हशर होता है? Some vitamin K is stored in the liver, कुछ ऑक्सीडाइज हो जाता है, कुछ दोबारा से some is re-secreted with very low density lipoprotein. ठीक है, देखो lipoprotein are of 4 types: chylomicron, very low density lipoprotein, low density lipoprotein, high density lipoprotein. ये अभी मैंने छोड़ दिया है ताकि डिटेल में ये आप पढ़ोगे CVS के मॉड्यूल में. Most vitamin K is excreted in feces. फंक्शन: जो सबसे अच्छा फंक्शन है या ज़्यादा फंक्शन है इम्पॉर्टेंट, वो है in blood coagulation, because K comes from coagulation. The function of vitamin K2 in animal cell is to add carboxylic functional group to amino acid glutamate. देखो ये ग्लूटामेट है, और जब इसमें एक एडिशनल ग्रुप ऐड हो जाता है, कार्बोक्सिल ग्रुप, then it converts to GLA. ठीक है, gamma carboxy glutamate, and this is known as GLA residue, right? And the protein containing the GLA, it is known as the GLA protein. To GLU or GLA में क्या फ़र्क है? It contains the glutamic acid, one carboxylic group, but here two carboxylic groups are present, one at the gamma position and at the one as a normal position. The presence of two carboxyl group, इनका क्या फायदा होता है भाई? On the same carbon, remember one thing, right? Allows to precipitate or chelate or combine with the calcium ions. The binding of calcium ions trigger the binding of the GLA protein enzymes known as the coagulating proteins. ठीक है? When calcium binds, then the coagulation proteins, they are activated. Here you can see. One carboxylic group is present. Here you can see on the same carbon, two carboxylic groups are present, right? And here you can see that this can bind the calcium ion, and the enzyme which insert one additional carboxylic group, it is known as gamma glutamyl carboxylase. That is, at the gamma carbon, it is inserting one additional carboxylic group. And here you can see this cannot bind calcium. This can bind calcium in between the two carboxylic groups. Formation of gamma carboxyglutamic acid is necessary before prothrombin can function in blood coagulation. If the proteins within the blood clotting cascade are not activated to GLA, cascade कहते हैं जो एक सीरीज चल रही होती है, इसने इसको कन्वर्ट किया, इसने इसको कन्वर्ट किया, इसने इसको कन्वर्ट किया, right? If the proteins within the blood clotting cascade are not activated to GLA, the cascade does not proceed as normal, leading to impaired blood coagulation. Here you can see GLA protein है, ये देखो GLA protein, यहाँ पे भी ये एक्टिवेट हुआ है, फैक्टर 9, फैक्टर 10 एक्टिवेट हुआ है. अभी आपको बताया था ना कि प्रोथ्रोम्बिन विल नॉट बी कन्वर्टेड इनटू एक्टिव फॉर्म, और जब प्रोथ्रोम्बिन थ्रोम्बिन में कन्वर्ट नहीं होगा तो then the fibrinogen will not be converted to fibrin and the blood clot will not be formed. All this shows GLA proteins. This shows that the factors, they are in the form of the GLA proteins. They are activated. Vitamin K cycle, ये बड़े मजे की है. Within the cell, vitamin K undergoes to a reduced form called vitamin K hydroquinone, catalyzed by enzyme vitamin K quinone reductase VKR. ये फर्स्ट स्टेप है साइकिल का. ठीक है भाई, ये विटामिन के है, ये विटामिन के हाइड्रोक्विनोन में कन्वर्ट हुआ थ्रू द एंजाइम VKR. ठीक है, आगे चले. चलो, another enzyme then oxidizes vitamin K hydroquinone to allow carboxylation of glutamic acid to GLA protein. GLA protein contain two carboxylic groups by the enzyme called gamma glutamyl carboxylase. ठीक है, gamma glutamyl carboxylase and VKD is formed. ये अभी हम आगे देखते हैं. ये देखो, VKD is formed. देखो क्या हुआ कि ये हाइड्रोक्विनोन, it combines with the glutamic acid. Only one carboxylic group is present, right? VKD protein is there. ठीक है, one carbon dioxide is added, oxygen is added, and here you can see the formation of GLA takes place. This is GLU. GLA takes place, carboxylated VKD protein. देखो ये simple VKD protein है and this is the carboxylated VKD protein. ठीक है, and the enzyme is GGCX. GGCX क्या है? Gamma glutamyl carboxylase. VKD form is vitamin K dependent protein. दोबारा से साइकिल पे जाएं. Vitamin K hydroquinone. It combines with the VKD protein. VKD protein GLU contain the glutamic acid as GLU. Only one carboxylic group is present. Carbon dioxide then added. And this you can see an additional carboxylic group is there. Okay? Additional carboxylic group is there. And between the two carboxylic group, the calcium ions are chelated. Calcium ions are precipitated. 3. Vitamin K hydroquinone is oxidized to vitamin K epoxide by the same GGCK enzyme. Vitamin K hydroquinone is oxidized to vitamin K epoxide by the same enzyme. Right, the carboxylation reaction, I'll go back. देखो, this reaction, carboxylation reaction, is necessary only when it is converted, that is the same enzyme. Both the reactions are coupled. This reaction will take place only if this reaction will take place. That is, the GLA protein is coupled with the formation of the epoxide, and the same enzyme here work. Vitamin K hydroquinone is oxidized to vitamin K epoxide by the same GGCK enzyme. The carboxylation reaction only proceeds if the carboxylate enzyme is able to oxidize vitamin K hydroquinone to vitamin K epoxide. I just told you, both the reactions are coupled. And finally, vitamin K epoxide is then reconverted to vitamin K by the enzyme vitamin K epoxide reductase. And in this way, the vitamin K cycle is completed. Here you can see vitamin K, it is converted to vitamin K quinone, right? Then it is coupled with the VKD protein. VKD protein, it contains GLU in the presence of the enzyme GGCX, and this protein is converted to GLA. Here you can see the two carboxylic group, and vitamin K epoxide is formed, and this vitamin K epoxide is converted to vitamin K, and this completes the vitamin K cycle. Effect of warfarin. Warfarin and dicumarol, ये thinning के लिए होती हैं blood के. They inhibit the regeneration of vitamin K. They reduces the amount of GLA protein. अब जब GLA protein नहीं होगा तो blood coagulation नहीं होगी, reduce हो जाएगी. Because for the blood coagulation, GLA protein is essential. Vitamin K in bone health. Vitamin K is considered to play a role in bone metabolism, right? It is a coenzyme for glutamate carboxylase, which mediates the conversion of glutamate to GLU to GLA, right? GLA, what is the function of GLA? You have seen that the GLA is involved with calcium attraction, with binding calcium, and in this way it enters or incorporate calcium into hydroxyapatite crystals. Hydroxyapatite क्या होते हैं? ये bone के ends पे होते हैं. They give strength to the bone, and they are composed of calcium and phosphate. Osteocalcine is the most abundant and best known as GLA protein associated with bone tissue, And osteocalcine is the major non-collagenous protein incorporated into bone matrix during bone formation. Okay? So, osteocalcine is the most abundant and the best known GLA protein. That is the protein which contain glutamic acid with two carboxylic groups at one at the gamma carbon, and in this way it helps to capture the calcium ions, and you know that very well that for the bone health calcium is very essential. Approximately 30% of the newly produced osteocalcine remains in the circulation and serve as an indicator of bone formation. Low dietary vitamin intake is associated with inactive osteocalcine, राइट और जो इनएक्टिव ऑस्टियोकैल्सिन होता है इसको क्या कहते हैं, अंडर कार्बोक्सिलेटेड ऑस्टियोकैल्सिन. The synthesis of under-carboxylated osteocalcine result in low bone mineral density or increased fractures. The vitamin K supplementation, अगर आप vitamin K लेते हो तो ये अंडर कार्बोक्सिलेटेड ऑस्टियोकैल्सिन रिड्यूस हो जाता है, and in this way the bone becomes strong and the deposition of the calcium takes place. फंक्शनल डिफरेंस क्या है, GLA OC कार्बोक्सिलेटेड ऑस्टियोकैल्सिन ये बोन रिमॉडलिंग में होता है, और GLU जो होता है वो एनर्जी प्रोवाइड करने के काम आता है. ठीक है, अंडर कार्बोक्सिलेटेड की बात हो रही है, ये GLU OC GLA OC. ये देखो एक कार्बोक्सिलिक ग्रुप है गामा पे, और यहाँ पे आप गामा पे देखो दो कार्बोक्सिलिक हैं. तो इन दिस वे ये जो स्पेस आप मेरा पॉइंटर देख रहे हो इसमें कैल्शियम डिपॉजिट हो जाता है, राइट. गामा कार्बोक्सिलेटेड ऑस्टियोकैल्सिन, और यहाँ पे देखो आप अंडर कार्बोक्सिलेटेड है बिकॉज इट कंटेन्स वन कार्बोक्सिल, इट कैन नॉट कैप्चर कैल्शियम. Hypervitaminosis. Hypervitaminosis of K, however, is related with thrombosis. Thrombosis होती है, सारे coagulation हो गई, बहुत ज़्यादा विटामिन K था, ब्लॉकिंग हो गई वेसल्स की, एनीमिया हो जाएगा क्योंकि वो जो है डैमेज हो जाएंगे, RBCs टूट जाएंगे, जॉन्डिस हो जाएगा. Thrombosis can occur due to vitamin K overdose, may be due to excessive blood coagulation or overclotting or plugging of the veins.